What's up, everyone? Good evening, happy Sunday. Hope you guys had a great week. The big week of the year is over. We started with the rate cuts in the US. The Fed surprised everyone with the 50 basis points, and we are at this point at 5%. The market, we had actually a movement that we predicted, or at least we were anticipating based on the projections and that we did last Sunday and throughout the week during the live streams. If you remember, we were looking for the dollar to fake out the lows into the demand zone that we had in here, and that's exactly what happened. And the euro dollar as well fake out the most recent high, react into the fresh supply that was there as well. So at least in this initial movement that we were looking for, we predicted it correctly. But yes, the Fed surprised everyone. In my opinion, what the Pedro Powell did is basically bet on the US economy. Pedro Powell has been always a little bit conservative on his approach during this period of hiking and now before starting to cut, but apparently he decided to be slightly more aggressive, now surprising not everyone, because the odds were actually at 60% for the 50 basis points. Even though 1 week before that it was almost 70% for the 25. So there was a big change in the expectation of the market. But there you go. We are at 50%. One of the key projections that they did, it was in regards to the unemployment, where they see the unemployment only increasing until 4.4%, when I think we are at 4.1 at this point. And that's actually one of, not one, many people, many of the journalists in the room ask him that question. Why are they only based on what kind of analysis they do to project only a 4.4% increase in unemployment, and how are they expecting to just stop there and not to continue after that? Because if it starts increasing like that, it's going to be hard to control it. And all of a sudden, if now it cuts quite aggressively and the unemployment actually starts decreasing, and in this case, looking at the unemployment and the job claims is going to be quite interesting as a news data, because that's going to definitely determine if the economy is going to be strong or not. And other data as well, retail sales and so on. It's going to be quite interesting to follow. Even tomorrow, the manufacturing, the services, and the manufacturing services PMI. So we'll see what's going to happen. The reality is, it's not that often that we see the first rate cut to be at 50 basis points. Usually it's 25. The last times actually maybe that happened, I think it was around 2001 and 2007, and I do think that you guys know what happened after that. And yes, usually basically we do start having kind of a recession a few months, like 6 to 9 months after we start rating cuts. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Basically, Pedro Powell is betting on the US economy and hoping for a soft landing. We'll see if that's going to happen or not. We also had Bank of England announcing their interest rate. It was unchanged. And then we also had Bank of Japan, which was also unchanged, with the potential of another hike in the future in here. And it was actually one of the first times that we didn't see much volatility going on the N pairs during all this phase of a meeting with the Bank of Japan. So maybe the market is starting to accept a little bit the path that the Bank of Japan is following. So this week we have, as I mentioned, manufacturing service PMI on Monday. It's going to be quite interesting. Maybe tomorrow we're going to start create momentum. We also have an interest rate decision in Australia, expected to stay the same, 4.35. And then you also have the Swiss National Bank announcing their interest rate, expecting another cut of 25 basis points to 1%. And I think Swiss National Bank, and in this case dollar franc Swiss, is going to be quite interesting to see, because I think we may be getting it into a really good opportunity to for a long in here. So again, next week or this week is going to be quite busy as well, so expect more momentum and volatility in the market, and maybe you're going to start having direction. We still haven't or didn't really got any direction, at least on FX. in particular on the dollar, is still ranging. Even though we fake out the lows, we haven't really got any real direction in here. I'm still not bullish, even though now I'm quite happier with where the low is reacting from on the left side. Now price reached that level, and I could start noticing or seeing now potentially longs in here. Even though I haven't really seen a proper engulf to the upside to confirm that. Okay, and that's basically waiting for this to happen, or to break in here for that to happen, or even just another break above this structure in here to expect price to move to the upside in here. While at this point price is still just ranging in here, right? We had the fake out, we had the reaction into that level, which can still definitely be slightly higher in here, and then you'll see within this structure. So that's what we have on the dollar index, and expecting some momentum this week. Not so much range, I'm expecting a bit more of momentum, at least for price to expand from this level into this range again, and let's see if it's going to go higher or lower after that. So that's what I'll be looking for on the dollar index in here. Looking at the US indices, like, so we had S&P breaking new all-time highs and continue to move to the upside. We also mentioned last week about this range in here, or on Monday, that we wanted to see this level being broken to the downside before aiming for any bearish move in here, and we never really managed to break below this level. Price just kept respecting this demand zone. Meanwhile, we start breaking new all-time highs, and price now, yeah, it's starting to show some weakness. Like, it's not exactly a break to the all-time highs and just creating momentum. No, there's a lot of indecision. Even though it broke new all-time highs on the S&P, there's still a lot of indecision in here, and that's the reality of what we have at this point. So basically now price retested the previous all-time high, and let's see if it's going to create momentum to the upside, or if it's going to come back to this level. It hasn't really changed the fact that this is still the level, or one of the key levels in here, that if it's broken to downside, it starts opening the door to go slightly lower into this structure in here, and to feel all this compression. All of a sudden you go back to this 5,500 mark, and so meanwhile price can just trade within this level first in here. So that's going to be interesting as well to follow. I think there's going to be opportunities to both looking for longs or shorts at this point, but of course a little bit more concerned with any shorts, because again at all-time highs price can always fake out the high before moving to the downside in here. So that's just something to keep an eye on, and we'll see what's going to happen on the S&P. Something that to pay attention to is that NASDAQ is literally lagging in comparison to the US indices, and maybe we are waiting for NASDAQ to get slightly closer to the highs before we start having another bearish movement on the indices. In my opinion, again, that has been what I've been looking for. Initially, as we mentioned, there was this level, price respected perfectly. It moved to downside, but it kept respecting this level. So that was another one that we looked for. And something that also, after that, if price would break this level in here, we were looking, actually, as soon as price broke that, as soon as price broke this high in here, we're looking already for price to feel this compression. All right, and now what we have been looking for as well is for price eventually to get closer to here. And we also mentioned exactly that I'll actually be surprised if price wouldn't actually go all the way somewhere closer to this level before any big sell, and if price will opposite to price just reacting from something in here and start moving to downside. I think in here there's a really great level to look for a potential reversal on NASDAQ, and maybe that's what you are waiting for also on the S&P, is waiting for NASDAQ to get closer to this level, somewhere around this level in here, or slightly higher as well, maybe into this structure in there, before starting to look for sales. And when that happens, maybe going to have another move to downside on the S&P as well in here. So that's just something to bear in mind. Definitely that we need, of course, these lows in here to look for. But yeah, that's going to be something to bear in mind in here on the S&P. So I'll be looking for that for sure in here. So let it create a little bit more of manipulation or liquidity in here. So price just spiked down. It reacted from something around this level. Yep, around this previous highs in here. So kind of a resistance becoming support. That's nice, but it started managing to break some lows in here. I do like the approach. Eventually, a trade that you can look for is for price to fill all of this. All right, so that could be eventually a trade to look for, at least to retest something in here, if not even to go lower to this level in there. So that's definitely something to look for in here. Yeah, definitely that level is quite good. Yeah, starting from that level in there, I think we can have good position. Oh, there is some reaction to the downside, and then we need the confirmation with breaking lows. That's going to be then the confirmation that we have in here. Then we have Dow. Dow is also breaking the all-time highs, and it's also starting to lose a little bit of momentum, and I'm curious to see how price may react around this structure. Eventually can target this level as a short, so that's something to bear in mind as well. Of course, we do need to break this low first in here. So yeah, let's just keep tracking Dow in here until we start noticing more and more weakness in here. Yeah, and then we have DAX, which broke all-time highs and then it just reversed straight away. Like, this was a great opportunity to look for. Price literally just yeah, broke that low in there. Like, that was a demand zone that managed to break new all-time highs, or some structure in there as well. And after breaking that structure, not just even this one, also that one in there, then you could start looking for a sell in here. So that was an opportunity, and then price filling straight away the compression in here, which is great. In there, then you had that slightly break to the downside, retest, and go, and we'll see now what's going to happen on the DAX, which is going to be quite interesting. Again, the economy in Germany is not the strongest at this point. We need to start seeing those manufacturing and eventually services as well, PMI to increase. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen, but I think I do like it. If price actually goes higher, I think there's opportunities for more shorts. Even price even if price fakes out the highs in here, I think there's going to be opportunities also to look for that. So yes, I do like it. There was already that initial move to downside. We'll see now how price may react from here. Again, this is already a break of the structure. All of a sudden you can look for this bigger move in here. So yeah, that's perfect. Again, it can be quite a similar approach with the US indices, in the sense that we have such a strong compression on the way up. All right, so price is not just moving in a clean move. Price actually is going up, then moves down, then goes up again, then moves down. Basically, it's cleaning every single demand in here, that eventually, again, went up, retested already this demand zone, went up again, comes in here, which eventually, when it turns, it's free to go all the way and to fill all this space in there, right? So that's something that I like in terms of the approach. It's perfect. Just being patient until we eventually have that turn is going to be quite interesting as well to look in here. Again, initially, as you recall, we had this compression as well, which price just fill out this range into the extreme, and then since it respected it, then it start moving to the upside in there. So that's good on the DAX, and we'll see if we're going to continue to have more sell opportunities in here. And Nikkei again is approaching this supply level. Again, you can even go closer to that level, so that's something to bear in mind as well in here on the Nikkei. And again, there's been quite a strong correlation with the yen pairs as well, with the yen index. Looking for crypto, right? We had a really strong move to the upside after the FOMC. All right, so we really had a positive week, and the Bitcoin approaching again this 64k mark, retesting these highs in here. So that's going to be interesting to see if price is going to go higher than that, and eventually going higher than that means getting closer to the 67, 68, 69, and eventually 70k mark in here, basically retesting this high, which can be interesting. Initially, we may have some structure in there to look for, but then yes, I do believe that we can go all the way, even though yes, there is still this this gap in here that price can definitely react from before going. But yeah, breaking these highs again, I think it can create that momentum, but we'll see. First we need to break these highs in here. Okay, first we need to have that extra confirmation. Ethereum as well, great reaction from that level to see fresh and then start turning. Great PA in here and move to the upside. Now we do have also potentially this level in here to look for as a continuation in the retest of this previous level support resistance. So somewhere in there can be quite interesting eventually for price to go to. Now price is basically reacting from here, so it may even continue to go higher first, right? May even continue to go higher before maybe making that that move in here and kind of resuming the move to the upside. So we just broke above all these highs in there. So yeah, it starts opening the door to eventually go closer to that level. Right, so Ethereum is quite bullish again. It respected these lows, so that was something that that we had in here. It didn't really manage, or it managed to break below that low, respecting still that one. That could have been seen as a move to the downside, and maybe potentially can still be. But then price respected this left shoulder, and when that happens, it actually makes it a bit of a bullish sign in here. And yes, we do have still that that extreme in there that price can still go towards to in here. Price doesn't really reacted from it just yet. This I never touched it, so that level is still fresh, and maybe that's the target for these longs in here. Havana also moved more to the upside in here, so we'll see how price may react from that level. Looking at the indices, like, and there you go, like we had the turn on the Euro Index. This was something that we started to predict when you had the ECB basically 10 days ago. We had this low being created, and then we was just looking to see if price would manage to break above this high or this trend line as well. So it managed to finally to break above that level, and after that, just confirmed to the upside. Right, so we kept respecting. It kept respecting this zone in here, these lows in there, sorry. So that's a great sign as well for price to confirm the move to the upside, and that happened. Now we're looking for this Euro Index to get slightly closer to that structure in there, and this value is still fresh as well. Right, so there you go. We have been in a range in here throughout all this year, basically Euro Index ranging in around this all this structure, and more recently around this level in here. So that's something to keep an eye on as well, which is interesting. And then the yen pairs, in particular the yen index. Like, so we had the continuation to the downside. So we saw that level, price respected. That was a good PA in here, as price basically fake out that low, those highs, broke it, and continued to move downside. Sorry, and that's basically what we were looking for. Eventually, price filled out this initial range. In there, it managed to break below the low, which opens more space to downside. And now we are looking for price to get a little bit closer to this level in here. Now, price has been moving to downside quite aggressively, with slightly retracements in there, but I think we may get closer to potential retrace. I actually like this potential level in here, so maybe below this low, somewhere in there. Maybe price could have a little bit of a reaction somewhere in here. And if price does do that, then you may have a little bit of a turn in here. So for example, price may leave this level behind, and then price will just start navigating into here, create some momentum or kind of some bullish retrace in here towards that level, and then you can have the continuation to the downside. For example, price can even go towards there as well, or even fake out this double top first and get into the next level, right? But for now, somewhere in here I think can be interesting, and it would be nice actually if price will just continue to move slightly lower, break out that level, and go into here. Now price has been respecting this this level in there. Maybe there's that demand zone in here, but there's so many lows in there that I would actually prefer to see if price would get closer to this zone in there. So yeah, that's what we have in here. On the a little bit more in the lower time frame, the price starts to range, respect these lows in here, which we are noticing that as well on the individual yen pairs, as we'll see in a bit. But yeah, nice turn, nice move in here, and we'll see if this is not just now a continuation to the downside in here on on the N pairs. All right, now looking at the individual currency pairs. Like looking at the individual currency pairs, what we have is looking at the individual currency pairs, we have euro dollar in here, right? So there you go, euro dollar is exactly what we're looking for. In the beginning of the week, it was still trading underneath this high, and you're looking for price to get closer to these highs in there, right? And that's exactly what happened with the FOMC. We had that spike. After that, price moved to downside and actually managed to break below this level, which is interesting. That may be a little bit of a confirmation that maybe price wants to go further down in the future, and we'll see if it's going to be from here or not. To be honest, I still like the idea of price creating a slightly high in here and then could turn, because I wanted to see price taking this high in there, and price never really took it, right? So price kept respecting this supply level, which is perfect. As you can have this left shoulder, and there was there were fresh orders in here, which basically where price ended up reacting. But I do like this this level slightly higher. Price again, yeah, that's a good level. Price can even go closer to that extreme in there. So again, if price does want to fake out one more time this high created with FOMC, it can. After that, it starts creating this PI again. We did manage to go all the way to break this low, so that can be definitely as an engulf to downside and eventually targeting those lows in there, and maybe these lows are already a break of the structure, so that actually starts opening doors for euro dollar to go much lower, perhaps in there. But yeah, we'll see in here. Price basically respecting that level, can go slightly higher. It can even go slightly higher in here, so there's a potential chance of price still breaking slightly above this high and still breaking slightly above this high into here as well. So that's basically what we had in here on the euro dollar. We also managed to break below that structure in there, and we didn't really touch this level, so it's maybe open. We start breaking some lows without really closing the gap. That's basically what we start having in here on the euro dollar. Interesting closing last Friday with price. It looks like it was about to create that momentum. It didn't. It just retraced straight away. Already react from the supply level. So again, tomorrow morning with the manufacturing and services PMI is going to be quite interesting, and you may have that momentum straight away on the euro. So we'll see if it's going to be to downside or to the upside. But yes, we start having a little bit of a few lows in here being broken, which can push price to downside. Now question mark as well is price ready to go all the way into turn from here, sorry, or are we going to go slightly higher, a little bit closer to that level before we do that, before we have that reversal. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I'm really curious to see tomorrow morning if we have that that momentum. Yeah, I'll be looking more for shorts, to be honest, tomorrow morning. If we do get PA in there, we can go for it. Yes, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, the opening and tomorrow morning. We have pound dollar as well. So pound dollar started to break new highs. We talked about that as well, if you recall, when you had this high being created in here. We talked exactly about the fact that, in my opinion, while euro dollar is reacting from a good high on the left side in the higher time frame, pound dollar was not. Pound dollar is just reacting from something in here, which in my opinion is just something in the middle. And after we actually managed to break this high, I could see, and I can still see pound dollar moving a bit more to the upside, at least closer to this level, which takes us into this 135 level in there. All right, if not even going slightly higher, to be honest, as well, and actually faking out or taking out the structure into something higher. But for now, maybe there's something in here that you can look for on the pound dollar. So again, while the euro hasn't really managed to break this high it created at the end of August, pound dollar already broke it and it's moving to the upside again. When you created also this low, we noticed that price reacted perfectly from a daily level in there, previous level of supply that was not respected, working now as a demand. Perfect, beautifully. We also started to have that PA, the breaks to the upside, at the turn, and start moving to the upside in here. Now, during the FOMC, there you go, we broke the high first, and then we kind of fake out slightly this low, even though we are still reacting from We are still reacting within the structure. Okay, we are still reacting within the structure in here, but we did manage to break that wall, and that can be interesting. All right, this can be interesting, but we're still reacting from that structure, but this one can start showing some signs of weakness. We also managed to break below this wall, which is another interesting aspect of what we have in here on the pound dollar. And after that, yeah, we can go slightly higher, to be honest. In there, I do like this. 1 second. So this is where we are reacting at this point. Right, so price is reacting now from this supply level. Maybe on 1 hour time frame is slightly visible, but I do like that one slightly higher. So price could go in there and react from it, and then you can also have a little bit more of a reaction from, yeah, that way is still fresh, to be honest. We'll see. Sometimes price just fake out this initial high and still reacts within the structure. I would prefer to see actually price taking all these highs in here and getting slightly higher in there. But we'll see. For now, I do like that level as well, which is just a little bit higher in here, and then eventually could turn and we could maybe fill all this space in here again back into this demand zone that we have in there. And the price just wants to really turn, then goes into here. But yeah, on dollar, I do think that's going to be quite interesting. Again, it's slightly more bullish. It's okay, but it starts showing some signs of weakness as well. So yeah, it could make just that extra high before the turn. We'll see. Tomorrow morning as well, it's going to be quite interesting to follow. Euro pound managed to break those lows, right? So there were big lows in here. Price did never really manage to break above that level, so we kept respecting it, and all of a sudden it started moving to the downside, and now it managed to break below that low in there into this, or approaching this demand zone. So there's a little bit more room to downside as well, in my opinion, on the euro pound. There you go. We kind of started we broke the low, retraced a little bit, but now continuation to the downside, and the expectation is to get a little bit closer into this level, if not even breaking that level and getting closer to here as well. So maybe going to have now continuation in here, and that will lead to the pound dollar to go and continue to go higher as well. So yeah, that's definitely something to pay attention in here, as that can also provide with the bias when to expect the pound dollar to turn. Because if the euro pound just continues to go down, most likely that's going to be because of pound strength, and you're going to continue to see pound dollar also moving to the upside. Aussie. Yep, Aussie dollar. I do like the idea of looking for shorts in here. Yep, I started to look for potential shorts in here on the Aussie dollar. Also Aussie CAD as well. That's another one, but that's mostly for the CAD pairs as well. But I do like the idea. I do like the idea of potentially look for a short in here. Price actually still respecting. Price is actually still respecting those highs, and it didn't really react from there. And then we still have the other zone in there as well on the Aussie. So it was a nice turn. It was a nice engulfing here. Price reacted now within this space in there, basically above this high, so fake out that level that we wanted to look for, but it hasn't really reacted from the other extreme in here. Yeah, which still continues to create the possibility for price to do something like that. For example, we start having some breaks of the lows as well. That was on the way up, but again, price can still maybe make slightly a new high into something in there. But I do like the idea of starting to look for potential sales in here. Our price is already kind of reacting a little bit. So yeah, with some signs like that, I think we can look for it. At least both for buyers and sellers, I think there's going to be opportunities. I'm not going to be looking really for a long around this level, so it's going to be more for sales in there. So that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen around this level. Again, on Tuesday you do have Reserve Bank of Australia meeting, when we are expecting the rate cuts to stay the same, or the interest rate to stay the same. The other Aussie pairs, and starting to look at the Euro Aussie. we had a correction, right? So we had that big move to downside that we saw, and then price literally just went all the way to respect this demand zone. Such a clean move in here. Now we do have or need that break to the upside in here as well to potentially start looking for price to go higher. So we'll see. If price just holds this level and starts moving lower, then you're going to have Aussie dollar moving to the upside. And again, it was such a strong compression here. I wouldn't be surprised if you do have at least price retesting these levels one more time in here due to this strong compression that we have. Yeah, due to this strong compression that we have on the way up, price can definitely play around with this level to look for another short, or even potentially just fake out the high a little bit and continue to look for that short as well. So that's maybe an opportunity to look for in the beginning of this week as well in here. On the Euro Aussie, with maybe Aussie dollar continue to go slightly higher. You can look at our pound Aussie as well, which also made that move to downside, and basically price got really close into the structure in there, and now it starts moving to the upside in here as well. Again, we have had stronger pound than the euro, so there's no surprise that actually pound Aussie is also moving a little bit more to the upside comparing with the Euro Aussie. Looking at the yen pairs and starting with the Aussie yen as well. So we had that push to the upside. So price, there you go, managed to break above this level. This was a beautiful potential entry. I didn't really notice, but this is exactly what you can even see on the videos when I'm waiting for the stream to start. That's a trend continuation setup in here. The pattern is exactly like that. I also covered that on the video that I talked about how to trade all-time highs. Which is basically initially break the highs, price go up, retest that high, goes higher again, so starts creating momentum to the upside. But then you do have the demand zone that is left behind, price comes back, breakouts now this low, reacts from that demand, goes higher. Perfect that we even managed to break new high, providing confirmation that we want to go higher, and now we are looking for the retest of all these previous levels, support resistance into here, this left shoulder, for a continuation in there. Basically price played exactly to the book in here. I didn't really pay attention to it, to be honest, but that was a great level on the Aussie yen. So there you go, move to the upside, strong Aussie yen. At the same time, you have a weak, we have a weak yen index, so no surprise. We start breaking some lows. That's good to see, because we actually had quite a strong momentum to the upside this last week. Also, if you look at the weekly candle, it's really quite strong, and you most likely are going to have a little bit of a reaction from this weekly supply as well in there. All right, so somewhere around this level, maybe you can have a little bit of a reaction. Price is already reacting from this supply in there, and you may have another reaction somewhere around here. So that's something to pay attention to in here. Start breaking slightly these walls as well. So we'll see. We'll see if we're going to have a move downside straight away from here, or a bit more, something like that. Yeah, so Aussie yen, and that goes a little bit into all the yen pairs. I think we may be getting closer to a potential retrace, just like I explained with the yen index. All right, so yen index has been quite negative or quite bearish, while these guys have been quite bullish, and they are getting closer to potential level where we have a proper retrace. So we are starting to slow down. That's completely visible across the yen pairs. Dollar yen also managed to break above this level, opens the door to go slightly higher, but maybe can have eventually retrace even into this level. For example, that was a turn in there. We talked about that last week. That was another one that we wanted to see price breaking an important or higher time frame low into a demand zone that was left behind. It was fresh, exactly what happened, and all of a sudden you had the turn. That was predicted already 2 weeks ago. It happened, and now price basically filled the compression in here, like this range in there, and now we are looking for price to go slightly higher and start having some kind of reaction from here, and if not there, then to go slightly higher as well. So that's definitely something to pay attention on dollar yen as you're approaching those highs in here. Yeah, so pay attention to that one. You may have an initial reaction here. That's basically where the separation happens. So that initial touch can happen, can maybe just be a reaction here to here, and price continues, but that's definitely something to pay attention to. And price actually has been reacting quite nicely from those initial levels. Kind of going into more the kind of the clear super level that you see. It's actually the first initial level in there, and where price has been reacting from. Yeah, so that's going to be looking nice for next week for sure. Another aspect with the yen pairs is that they've been super correlated. Okay, so Aussie yen, Euro yen, dollar yen, pound yen, and so on, they've been super correlated, and usually we don't really see that. Like sometimes you have dollar yen moving in one direction because of the dollar, and then you have Euro yen, pound yen, and even Aussie yen kind of moving a little bit in the opposite direction or not so correlated. But recently, all the moves have been so correlated with the yen index. Right, so we had a negative yen index, and we have literally a strong yen across all yen pairs, even the dollar yen as well. So that has been interesting to follow in here. Now, Euro yen, good reaction from that level on Friday. The continuation to the upside in here, we respected that low, so price just continue. It starts to slow down a little bit, but we kind of still need a proper break of a low on the Euro yen before looking for something else. We're basically tracking a little bit of this trend line in here. And eventually you can get closer to that level, if not even slightly higher. But this level in here, it was fresh at that supply level, so that's a good zone in here. And let's see tomorrow, maybe with the manufacturing and service PMI, maybe you're going to start having the euro dollar and the euro yen doing something similar, because again, they haven't really been that correlated recently. So literally just yen pairs around. Yeah, then moving higher, definitely possibility as well in here on the euro yen if price just continues to go to the upside. In terms of targets for the downside, yeah, definitely do have this level as a first level. If prices want to go lower, and then the price starts breaking below that, then you'll see. Pound yen. Also, it has been slightly more stronger than euro yen, and you are approaching this high as well, right? So again, we had the turn in here. Again, personally, we did mention that level, but in this particular case, I was looking just for a slight fake out before moving. This is where it is. Prices continue to move higher. There you go. Reaction from that month zone after breaking the structure to the upside. Basically, that's the separation a little bit in here between this and that. So when you do have that level, that's usually when you have a little bit of manipulation being created before price continues to move into the direction that it was already moving before, to eventually fill this price in there. So that's what we have in here on the pound yen, and you're looking for price eventually to get slightly higher. Price paused in here. Maybe there's a little bit of a level higher in there that we can look for. They have a few left shoulders in here as well. Basically, that's where price is reacting at this point. Yeah, we have quite a few previous left shoulders in there. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, the destination eventually is going to be these highs in there on the pound yen. Yeah, looking into the lower time frame, if actually see here, like we have that level, maybe we have even that one, we have even that one as well. So if you're looking for the, basically that's the last high being created, so that's a nice interesting zone in there to look for in here. But below that we may have some other levels in there, right? So decision point, price goes, creates a low in here to try to go higher, so that's also an interesting one. And price broke that level, and yeah, somewhere in there can also be an approach. Yeah, so we'll see. Price at this point is respecting this level. I want to see price going slightly higher. Yeah. The approach is nice. Price starts to compress a little bit. Some kind of breaks of some lows, but even though price just respected structure, it's just a pair to continue to track. If by any chance pound dollar does want to continue to go slightly higher, may have pound yen also doing the same until eventually we have the turn in there. So again, the yen pairs are definitely going to be on my radar. I'd like to see a little bit more of a move to the upside before we have a retracements to the downside in here. We can even look at CAD yen, again another one that has been just moving to the upside, and eventually can take this this level in there. Yeah, really strong move. Again, this is actually the high in there after respecting that level in here. So we'll see. Yeah, at this point still respecting this high. Yeah. All right. CAD pairs. We finally had a move on the dollar CAD. Right, so it has been in this range for a couple of weeks or so, and we finally had a move. Initially, price actually broke to the downside, and then it reversed, similar to the, again, it was during the FOMC, we had that push down on the dollar, and then the reverse, and now good reaction actually on the dollar CAD, where price ended up reacting with this high, but that may start opening the door to go slightly higher, maybe towards there. For example, again, bigger picture, I haven't really changed my mind in terms of eventually price could go there. This is a break to the downside into this compression, even though it reacted perfectly from this demand zone. Just question mark is from where are you going to have that continuation? Is this the high? Now price is going to just move down. Is price going to retest this level in here before moving down? Is price also broke below that level? So maybe you have a little bit from here. So you may have a few spots in here to look for on the dollar CAD, which is going to be interesting. So again, the moves are quite aggressive at the extremes, and then price goes straight away back into the range. So that's basically what we have recently on the pound, on the dollar CAD in here. Just to see how price may react from this level again. The other CAD pairs, that's a different story, right? So we have Euro CAD. Again, they are still looking for that engulf down, which means that I'm still actually looking for this sell opportunity on the Euro CAD. But as I mentioned, I actually want to see also Euro CAD picking out this high and getting quite closer to this level in there. So that's still the opportunity and the trade that I'm looking for on the dollar, on the Euro CAD. We managed to break below this structure, so that's an important one as well. So we had this structure in here, price managed to break below it, now fake out slightly to the highs. I don't really want still to see price moving all the way. Maybe price could just go there again, more time into here and go higher, but I do want to see price going slightly higher, somewhere closer to this level, and then you could have the turn in here. Below this level, of course, we do have this level, but then after that we can go all the way in here. But yes, we're starting to break some lows in here again, and we have this low as well in there, and the destination, in my opinion, is still try to see price going, making out this high into something for price to then just move, and that can be one of the trades for next month. Yeah, that's definitely something to pay attention to. Pound CAD, it's another one. It goes in alignment with the CAD pairs. So we did manage to fake out that high. Fake out, no, to break the high. Like initially broke that one, and then you had the momentum to the upside, and then you start breaking that high as well, and you start having some opportunities, right? So again, as soon as we break above an important high, price created momentum. That was a great short opportunity that we had. Just retested previous level support resistance, perfect, and moved to the upside. Amazing. Now it starts to compress as well. We broke new high. Alright, so we broke that one, then we broke this one, and now I'm looking for price to go slightly higher. So I still want price actually to go and even fake out the next one. So a new high in there, that's what I'll be looking for. We start managing to break this low as well, so that's nice. Because eventually the target starts looking for that. But yes, I still would like to see actually this high being taken. So a little bit more to the upside, fake out that level and go. But we may still have some levels in there that maybe price doesn't really need to break the high. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how around this level or price may react, but I would actually like to see price taking this high before a turn. The price respected that demand zone. That one is still fresh. We had this structure, so yeah, this structure here is managed to hold price up. Yeah, we'll see. But pound CAD can also be an interesting one eventually for a turn. Also now I meant with Euro CAD. Yeah, that's definitely something that I'll be looking for in here. Dollar franc Swiss, as I mentioned, is reacting still from this low. We start breaking that high. We had that push down, price respecting that that level in there, and now we'll see. We'll see price going to start creating momentum from here and push to the upside, and that can be the trade as well in here on the dollar franc Swiss. If price starts breaking new highs again, that high for me is an engulf to the upside. I talked about this one that it never engulfed, but this one did, and then price respected perfectly that level. So we'll see. We'll see how price may react from here. It's also kind of a trend line that we have quite important on the dollar franc Swiss, but maybe the big trade can be after we break above it, hold a little bit, and then we may have that move to create the momentum eventually to start targeting these highs in there, or even go all the way up in here. Yeah, that's definitely an opportunity also to look for. Again, it will be closer to this level to look for that long price just too quick with FOMC. Maybe the next big opportunity actually is going to be after we do manage to break above. 1 second. After we manage to break above this high, button, we may have that move. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. Gold. Yeah, there's no stop on gold. Just continues to break new all-time highs. A varied go, a varied run. After that range, so it was ranging in here with FOMC as well, kind of fake out the highs, take the lows, kind of respecting a little bit of that level. Could even have gone in here, it didn't. Maybe that's for the future, coming back to this level before continue. But now varied run, like I'm not really trading gold at this point, I'm not touching it, but it continued the bullish momentum in here. That's not what I trade, and it's quite aggressive in here. I actually prefer to look at silver, and if you recall, silver actually price reacted perfectly during the FOMC from one of that levels that we wanted, and basically it filled the compression. I filled the space straight away. Like basically that was a little bit of the beginning. We start breaking some lows, boom, we caught into there. That was still fresh, because I never reacted from it. All the way, reach the target immediately, and now it's moving to the upside, and we are looking for the next level somewhere in here. So that's a little bit more of next level on silver that I'll be looking for price to actually go all the way, take out these highs. And that's going to be another one that I'll be paying attention to. And maybe after that, or in alignment with that, we may have a little bit of retracement on gold as well. So yeah, where it go, where it continue to move to the upside a little bit, and then you'll see. Now price of course may fake out some structure here, and may retrace a little bit. Yeah, may retrace a little bit, may have something within this level that price can use to move to downside. Yeah, but ideally I would like to see price going slightly higher in there, taking actually out these highs, some reaction from here, and then you can have a good turn. Even if it is from here to here, for price to continue, it could happen. Yeah, silver, another one to keep an eye on. And then we have oil, which was just a strong move to the upside, and now we are getting closer to the previous level support resistance, and now it's going to be interesting to see what's next. Like, so we had that turn after price took these lows, good reversal in here, and now price basically filled that space, and now we are getting into a new dimension in here on oil. Slightly break to the downside, but I'm looking a bit more to the upside in here for price to properly retest this previous level support resistance in here. So I may have some kind of PI around this level. Potentially look for a short, or quite the opposite. It's going to be just continuation, the momentum to go even higher and start aiming Yeah, where we are now, around 72.6. Yeah, we'll see. First this level, this support resistance. Yeah, if we kind of manage to stay above this level in here, then you can start looking higher. Yeah, but this one, breaking this high here is kind of the important one. You have this structure to look for. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. That was a nice turnaround. Keep respecting the walls as well. Recently, we managed to break that one. All right. Looking at Brent. Brent still has a little bit more of a room to the upside as well to fill out this compression here. So it's reacted from this left shoulder. For sure there's a supply in there. Basically that's where price already reacted in here. But eventually looking for price to go and fake out that high again. Crude oil slightly reading the level in here. It's already took this high. Brent hasn't. Brent didn't, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's definitely a space in here to even for price to go towards too. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Again, this has been a full week of a turn, so I'm expecting to start seeing some bearish signs in here on oil. A little bit of some signs, and the approach has been quite in compression as well, so it's going to be interesting. Like super compressed in here as well. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and that's basically it. That's it in terms of what you're looking for next week. Basically, after what the Fed did, cutting quite aggressively with the 50 basis points, we are looking for price to, or the market to gain or to decide in which direction he wants to move next. And I'm talking in particular about the dollar. The dollar is still quite indecised at this point, and we need to see some direction. All right, we need to see some direction in here. Based on what we saw on the charts, we saw dollar index respecting perfectly that low that we were looking for during FOMC, but after that, it broke slightly some highs, but not exactly structure. And we still need to see that structure to the upside being broken to start looking for those longs. And that may happen tomorrow because we have manufacturing and services PMI straight away out of the gate at 8 AM, 8:15 in the morning. So straight away from the London session, expect a little bit of volatility and perhaps momentum that goes all the way into the US session when you do have that services and manufacturing PMI as well in the US. Looking at the dollar, that high is holding. So again, dollar made that spike with during the FOMC, respected the supply, and now we'll see what's going to happen. Again, I could still see a little bit more of a move up, but I'm okay with the high, same way that I'm okay with the low on dollar index. Pound, it's a different story. I think the pound can continue to be slightly more stronger and break new highs until eventually turns. So that's kind of a different dynamic in here. Something that we have seen during this phase or new phase of rate cuts from the central bankers is that the correlation between the different currencies, it has changed slightly a little bit, right? We have seen a little bit of a difference between sometimes the dollar index and the euro dollar, the pound and the euro, the yen pairs have been super in alignment. So that has been a little bit of a difference that I have seen, and I'm still looking now for the new alignment in the market for the new phase, for the new cycle, and I haven't really seen that just yet. Nevertheless, yes, next week is going to be interesting to see if you gain again direction on the dollar. Looking at euro dollar and pound dollar as an example, with pound dollar slightly going higher. Aussie and CAD, especially Aussie dollar, potentially starting to look for sells. I think we are approaching an interesting high, and we have interest rate decision in Australia, which may remain the same, which means that we may have another ranging market going on. Now we are at the highs, maybe we're going to start looking for sells, or some sells are going to start kicking in. CAD pairs, I'm looking for sells as well on the Euro CAD and the Pound CAD in particular. Dollar CAD, I still need to see what's going to happen in there. And then the yen pairs. Like the yen pairs, I think we're going to continue to have the yen index moving to downside a little bit. And this week, I think we're going to have some retracement, which is basically the opposite on the yen pairs. A little bit more strength until we start looking for some sells on the yen pairs. I don't think that that's going to be the top. It's just some retracement before potentially price continues to go higher. But at this point, it's been quite strong for a while, and I would like to see some retracement. Commodities, gold, just let it go. I'm not really touching it. Silver, I'm looking for price to go slightly higher before a potential good short opportunity as well. So let it continue to go higher. It's still a little bit far away from it. And oil as well, I think are going to have some sells this week after such a big momentum that we had for the last 6-7 days in the market. And that's it. Crypto, yeah, crypto let it run as well. We'll see what's going to happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum in here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for another session in here for the pre-market analysis that we have been doing. Let me know if you are benefiting from it or not as well, and if you're taking advantage and if it's helping you guys to be one step ahead of the market and preparing for the day ahead. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys. Enjoy your evening. Bye bye.